Good morning, friends, and welcome again. It's good to see you. It must be time for bedtime Bible study, so let's get started. I have my app, and remember, if you have a Bible or the Bible app, follow along. We'll be reading in the New Testament tonight. Our scripture comes from the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 20. Remember, Romans was written by the Apostle Paul. It was a letter to his friends and fellow believers in the Church of Rome. And this is what it says. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power, and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. That's really good. That's powerful. Now let's talk about these scriptures. What Paul is telling us here is that since the beginning of time, what God has done has been able to be seen by everybody. God is himself invisible, but we know he exists because we see the things he does all around us. And since the beginning of time, the things that he has done, he created the whole world. The whole world would not be in existence if it wasn't for God. Some people believe in evolution or the Big Bang. There's no such thing. If you go to the very first book of the Bible in the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, it says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." And as you continue to read through the chapter, it explains how each day God created something new. And that's what Paul is reminding us of here when it says God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, because that's all God. That's what God is. That's who he is. But again, we can't see him. He's invisible. But we know he exists because we see what he has done around us. That's why it says here, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made. That means we see what he has made around us, and we understand that, so that people are without excuse. That means you can't say there's no God or God doesn't exist, because you know there are atheists in this world, people who believe there's no God. But there's proof that there is God. Not a God, the one and only God. So no one is without excuse, as it says. And we all have to be held accountable because we see the evidence that there is God, that he's real and that he exists. So we can't ignore him. And that's what Paul is telling us in this scripture here. So this is very important to remember. God is real, God exists, and no one can say otherwise, even unbelievers, because every day he does things around us, and his creation is proof that he is real and he exists. So again, it's very important to remember that. And that's it for tonight, everybody. This was an important lesson. Very good. Thank you so much for coming by again. It's always good to see you and have Bible study with you. It's time to go to bed now, but before we part ways, let's remember our blessings. And remember, say it with me so that it can go into your spirit and give you rest, peace, sweet dreams, and a good night in Jesus. From Numbers 6:24 through 26, may the Lord bless us and keep us. May the Lord make his face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May the Lord turn his face toward us and give us peace. And from 3 John verse 2, I pray that above all, we will be in good health and prosper, even as our souls prosper. Take care, friends. Love you. Good night. God bless. And I'll see you next time.